Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss what Yam and Niyam, the 5 virtues and 5 disciplines. Put together, these 10 are the foundation of Akhand Yoga, are to be in tune with yourself and entire universe at the given moment of time. You need the foundation of Yam and Niyam first. Without that, you can't get into spiritual science, come whatsoever may be. Any religion that does not talk of Yam and Niyam 5 plus part 10, spirituality is impossible. Now, Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 48th verse is very clear. Eliminate all the fluctuation of the mind and let the indwelling soul do every work truthfully, honestly, perfectly otherwise. And impeccable wisdom is the truthful, integrated, divine design of nature will appear only thereafter. So, otherwise, Advaita philosophy, and Trade philosophy put together will make you do the work conscientiously in education, enlightenment, empowerment, and give the world the divine design which everything is perfectly designed from the smallest to the largest. Is this the message in this particular verse as such? Now come to the question Maharishi Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Anushasan discipline start with yogas chitta vritti nirod. Stop the fluctuation of the mind and you can't see the experience of inner consciousness, pragyan, and that is the beginning. So 8 stages of yogasanas talk about only yam and niyam to start, then yogasana, then pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. And all the 8 objective is only to control the mind with conscientiousness, and when anything is not in tune with the mind, with the perfection, you suffer, that is a klesha. When all the fluctuations stopped effectively and there is everything come to the samadhi state, equilibrium of the mind, and you are not at all affected by fluctuating mind. And that is the mind which is absolutely essential to take you to intelligence, intuition, and to the wisdom. So mind is to be only made calm and quiet so that it can understand the things very clearly. And that is the message. It's not kill the mind, eliminate the mind, then you can do nothing in the life. That is objective of Maharishi Patanjali, is to stop the fluctuation, not kill the mind. Killing the mind with the drugs, alcohol, things like that is definitely not at all the objective of Akhand Yoga or Yoga by and large. Yam and Niyam, artificial intelligence description which I am saying. Yam and Niyam are the first 2 limbs of the Patanjali's 8-fold path of yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, serving as a foundation, ethical guidelines, and moral observations for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. So objective is God, if you want to be healthy, wealthy, wise and happy, lead a perfectly healthy life, in tune with yourself and the world without any problem. This Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, for which Yam and Niyam are the 2 things, is very clear in this particular description. Now the Patanjali Yoga Sutra is divided into 4 components. There are 4 chapters by and large. The first chapter is Samadhi Pada. The section defines yoga and samadhi and explains different parts of the mind, their modification, manifestation, and remedial methods. The first thing is only one mind, its different aspects, and also the modification and other problems which we can create and how to stop that. So first step is very clear, is the preparation for samadhi stage. Second is sadhana pada. The passive and active methods to actualize are explained under this particular heading. And that is the healing, is a process, that is a process with which we can become perfectly control of the mind, make optimum use and move on to the higher levels of consciousness. Vibhuti Pada is a section describes the rewards and practice of yoga and samadhi. And that's again a beautiful thing. Parinama, whether ekagrata parinama, nirodha parinama or samadhi parinama, and its condition is exactly like what I would say alpha spindles of 8 hertz through the brain with eyes open is very clearly written in the book which was 3000 years back, and description of power spectrum analysis of electroencephalogram is well described in this Vibhuti Pada. Then the fourth chapter is Kaivalya Pada. The section highlights the ultimate state of the supreme state of the being, what exactly you can gain by reaching a samadhi state, what are the benefits. So these the four states are very clear in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. To achieve that, you need yam and niyam to start. Without yam and niyam, the process cannot move on. That is point which I am talking about. Let's talk about the first stage of yam. There are following 5 stages. Satya, it means truth, and the first and the highest virtue beyond duality and associated with the highest center, the Sahasrara Chakra. That means you are literally come to Satyam by and large. Anyone who is truthful by and large will reach Sahasrara directly or indirectly. Without truth, nothing can work. Asdoma Satgamya. That is exactly the first prayer of Maharishi Yajnavalkya as well as Shivishwar is only Satya, Satya and Satya, that's it. Second stage, which I make it clear, Ahimsa. It means non-violence associated with the physical body, emotional body, the verbal, the mental, curses and the psychic aspect. You should be totally non-violent at every state of consciousness. That is Ahimsa. Asteya, it means honesty, non-stealing, non-misappropriation, non-covetousness and other aspects of possessiveness. This is what I explained last time. Brahmacharya is a confusing concept. It means continence and celibacy, which I do not agree with. It is associated with Swadhisthana Chakra and reproduction, I agree. But it is a misuse and disuse of this particular concept of sexuality is the problem. Making optimum use of Swadhisthana Chakra, Brahmacharya, is to get testosterone, estrogen for physical health, emotional, mental, other things, is only possible when you have Ojas and convert into Tejas. The most important chakra is Brahmacharya alone. Then come to Apigraha, it means non-acquisitiveness. We are custodians of the wealth and thing. We should just have what is required and share with the world because everybody needs that. Nature has given everything. A yogi is a person who understands and gets everything and he shares with everybody for the love of it. They all work together with the knowledge. That is exactly what Hitopadesh says. Vidya dadati vinyam vinyat yati patratam patratam cha dhan utpati dharam and sukh for everybody. So good education and sharing with everybody is what is required. That is the point. Now these are the 5 yamas. Now this is a particular thing as I told you in yam, om, then satya, ahimsa, atya, brahmacharya, apigraha are the 4 things which are 5 things which are absolutely essential. Now let's say the same thing again, all the 5 things as explained here. First thing which is very important for anybody and everybody is Satyam, as I made it very clear. And in the different things of in Satya is like Mahanarayani Upanishad says, truthfulness is excellent. A yogi who unites with the universal soul with truth never fails in life. And that's the point I make it again and again. Satyamev Jayate, only a truthful person can tread on the path, otherwise even slightest mistake on truth which is not cognized, experienced and thing would not let you go. And the whole access of Mahanarayani Upanishad is only that. And Mundaka Upanishad is Satyamev Jayate. That means truth always wins. Satchit Anand is also conscious which always lead to eternal blissful state. It's only Satya. Satya Vijnanam Anantam. Anyone who is truthful, sacrifice, sanctified knowledge leads to infinity including Divyank, is a part of my being truthful, honest, otherwise. Satyam Shivam Sundram, a genuine, truthful person is always good looking, handsome, and perfect in every level. His aura is good, his thing is good, he is a walking, talking encyclopedia. Om Tat Sat. Om is the ultimate, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, all pervasive universal consciousness, is again with truth and Om put together. And I think this is the importance of Satyam, Satyam, and Satyam. Now come to the question Ahimsa. Ahimsa Parmo Dharma is a non-violence to everything from A to Z. You should not do a single thing against anyone. In that process, Jainism stands out, but I feel sometimes it goes beyond to even tolerate things which could damage them. This is where I would differ. If something is going to damage you, avoid that, and killing that is not because it's harming you, you are being not taken care of, you are going to suffer in the process. That kind of violence against something which is making your life miserable, like your ants and other things, is allowed. This is the difference which I would make. But this is for self-defense, not killing them by themselves. That is the point. Now, ahimsa, as I told you, the physical violence is the worst, emotional violence is still bad, psychic violence is the worst, and verbal violence is also not required. And then mental violence in the form of cursing is definitely bad. Criticism directly or indirectly without any reason is definitely not behind the back. In the front you talk, discuss and tell the person this is not my approach and leave it at that. But don't stand on judgment and things like that. So ahimsa that way is very, very important. Then astya, as I told you, non-stealing and plagiarism, copying anything which is not yours, is definitely not. And all your research should be based on your experience and given with the experience which is right, not a copy of something else. In that particular research, your plagiarism will be 0, 0, 0. That has happened in my PhD work, that happens in my books, everywhere the same story. And concept you take, and that concept should be in such a way that it does not appear and it's very clear this is given by somebody else, but this is what is required, and it is given in information as a sport, that is allowed. Then come to the non-covetousness. Property stealing and grasping the property of any other person, including your own family members, or this thing is not at all. Even Robin Hood, taking from rich and giving to poor, is also not acceptable to me. Even if showing affection on people in need is acceptable. Showing affection to people hurting others is a highly defective trait. Again, your objective, your intention should be perfect. Niyat achhi hai, nitiyan achhi hai, natije achhe. You should not hurt anybody unless until and unless until is absolute essential. Same thing plagiarism, same thing with research, everything is same thing. So you should concentrate on that as a perfect, only good for everybody. Then apigraha, the non-possessiveness. Nature has got everything in abundance, given everything to think. So what is your need based, you use it. What is not required, just don't use it. Share it with the world and don't waste it. Don't keep it and let it get spoiled. Nature has given everything for everybody free. So what has come to you is also free. So sharing with others being free and letting them realize that is a common property, everything, we are only custodians. And sharing that is absolutely essential for everybody. Do not have anything more than need based. Greed is bad, possession is bad, everything in the process leads you to downfall, not as a perfection by and large. And this is what I am talking about in materialism, austerity, vairagya, terag, this state, everything, sannyas, right up to that comes only non-person. If you are a perfect human being, you are a tyagi, vairagi, sannyasi, only then you become a person who will be loved by everybody because you are seen as a good person meant for everybody. That is image is very important in apigraha or non-equestiveness or non-possessing things and moving on perfectly. And total detachment from wealth and other things. What is required is yours. More than that you don't have to worry about. Then comes to Brahmacharya, as I told you, the perfect human character. Nature is have a perfect testosterone for muscles, oxygen, intelligence, otherwise. For your physical health, inside and outside, as you can see, is absolutely essential for everybody. Another thing, without that, you can't even move on to higher consciousness, come whatsoever may be. And these are the 5 virtues which I have already spoken about. Now, a summary is presented so that we can't go to the Niyam part, the discipline part, where these 5 are going to be experienced step by step in hereafter. In the process, the Brahmacharya, as explained, is optimum utilization important, misuse and disuse is bad. Now the second stage of niyams. There are 5 things again here. These are the 5 stages of discipline. Number 1, Socha. Purity. It means pure and clean. The human body is a abode of the indwelling human soul called Kundalini. You call it Antratma. And I also call it the voice of silence of Goddess Aditi, helium 4. Inside you should be pure and outside also should be pure. Your house should also be pure. If it is pure, not even one thing which is negative in any form, only that person could be in tune with universal consciousness, otherwise not at all possible. We are going to see it next tomorrow's thing on Sauche alone. Then Santosh, contentment. A content mind that does not hanker after unnecessary objects gets everything, that includes eternal bliss. People who go after that is a problem. Who are satisfied with things, only those people will be able to get anything and everything, including Satchit Anand, is given to them who have the sense of respect. And it should be based on your karma, Gyan, Vigyan, Pragyan and Akhandata. What is not your karma, what is not your Gyan, Vigyan, Pragyan, that has no value. And you should be satisfied whatever you get it, because you get it only what you deserve, what you have worked for. That is the point. Tapa is austerity, the destruction of defects of the human body. Heat, that is, heat is important, and unless until you have optimum heat in the body, your senses, sense organs, mind, including dwelling soul and other thing, will not function. That exactly is the message. Anything body is cold, you suffer. Body is too hot, also you suffer. So maintain the temperature 37 degrees and perfectly in comfort in winter and summer, other thing, is what tapa is all about. Then Swade is self-study. It means that study of the self leads to the knowledge of everything. That is important. Unless until you understand yourself, how the atom, element, molecules, compounds and other things are working within you, only then you will be able to understand the external world. Inner experience is required to understand the external world. That is self-studies of your own self, and that is exactly what Rig Veda is talking about, and that also what Aitreya Upanishad is talking about. Now come to the Ishwar Pranidhana, the 5th part. Self-realization of God, or self-realization of the last thing is the moksha. Unless until you believe in the divinity by and large, you cannot move on this. So process is, you should be active in Advaita philosophy and also Treta philosophy and also Advaita philosophy. Now coming to the question, of little more description before we go on to the next stage. Sochi, the purity. It means pure, clean purity. It made of 2 aspects of the given. Physical cleanliness from physical purity. The physical bodies becomes a better channel of divine energy. Power and fragrance, etc. is first thing. And I go to the extent your home also should be, your proximity should be, you should be surrounded by the entire world is a perfect. Cleanliness at every stage for everybody is absolutely, your water content, everything we should. You got to work towards to clean the entire, that is Bhumi Rin as such. Then cleaning your teeth, tongue, everything, nostrils, everything. Only the perfect body organs, 10 organs, can give you the consciousness. Even one product, including cold in the nose or throat our lungs, our digestion problem, our respiration problem, our heart problem, they are problems. So keeping whole physical body emotionally, mentally, otherwise is absolutely essential. Only person who is personally, physically perfectly healthy is going to experience Satchit Anand, otherwise not at all possible. Every system should work very well and different process will be explained in the process. The internal cleaning like washing, everything. Whole system should be so regular, so disciplined that you do not have any problem at all. Whole system of 12 in 24 hours in a systematic way. Once you organize the thing, then at that given moment of you get into that stage very, very clearly. Now come to the Santosh, contentment. Santosh, Sukh Labh. That means only the people who are content with whatever is with them. Whatever they worked, they are happy and they got it and they are content with that. Only those people will experience Satchit Anand or Sukh or benefit. People who are not satisfied what they have worked for, they are looking at other thing out of jealousy and other thing, that Atma will always be discontent and suffering in the process. That's it. And we work for things and we get what we deserve, and nature gives it to us only what is required. There is nothing more. Everything is given by nature in abundance, but we should work towards to achieving that, and that is what santosh or contentment by and large. Only that person would be intelligent, intuitive, otherwise healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. If you are not satisfied with what you have, and if there is a defect, you learn to improve upon yourself. Become a perfect in every aspect. That is exactly the message in this Santoshis. Now Tapa, as I told you, and this particular thing is where you get, and this particular thing is about iodine and how iodine is converted in thyroglobulin and thyroid hormone, and optimum thyroid hormone is essential to give you the physical temperature of 37 degrees, and as a result you will not suffer from winter or this, and that exactly is having tapa, the heat is required, and it should be absolutely fine for Agni Bhuta to the stage of 37 degrees. Maintain the 98.5 Fahrenheit throughout the day, and you are very physically active otherwise. Body temperature comes down when you go to sleep is right, but when you are alive and working, you should maintain the temperature at that. Increase is also not allowed, reduce is not allowed, maintain that. And any person who has 37 days, all the functions of all the 100 trillion cells would be perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise and happy. That is the message which is there in Tapa by and large. Then as I told you, Swadhyaya again, Isht Devta, and all what means the study of self leads to the knowledge of the atom, element, molecules, compounds and tissues, cells, etc., and you become a perfect human being. So that means with awareness how much water is there, how much salt is there, how much glucose is there, how much proteins are there, how many fatty acids are there, how many things are. If all the biochemistry is perfectly fine and you can experience that, even little hyper, reduced water, blood pressure, anything which is connected with homeostasis, the all 10 aspects you can experience within the body without doing any test at all. The day you become aware, now this is the deficiency, this is deficiency, you rectify the deficiency, then only you will be perfect. And that exactly is self-study Aswadhyaya. And that is the sensitivity you got to develop. Even slightest change in chemistry within the body, any biochemistry within the body, will help you understand. As a result, your psychology is connected with only atom, elements, molecules, compounds which you feed from outside. As long as that is vegetarian, and no alcohol, no drugs which spoil the system, and you can maintain homeostasis 24/7 without any difficulty during conscious work and super conscious work. Only that person can go and experience the universal consciousness by and large. Now come to Ishvara Pranidhana, God surrender. Samadhi, Siddhir, Ishvara Dana. That means self surrender to Ishvara, the living God, 11th wastefulness and other thing is talking about. And I know I as a Shiv Bhushan Sharma have followed all the yam and niyam 100% without even single compromise. At the 10th stage, I have been able to feel one with myself, feel one with solar system, feel one with spiral galaxy, feel with the universal consciousness, feel Brahman itself. It is the Jivatma, Antratma, Paramatma to Brahman, A to Z, the entire thing becomes one. And that is the reason why I say I am able to produce 8 Hertz alpha frequency throughout all the 64 parts of my brain, left and right, back, middle, and everything is only that with eyes open, with all senses open. And a person who can do that, he is only aware of the perfection within the body and perfection, and that exactly is Akash Kosh, which knows A to Z of the entire universe there. Past, present, and future is known to the person who has 8 Hertz alpha frequency through the brain with eyes open, with eye senses anywhere and everybody. He is likely walking, talking encyclopedia, and that is important part as far as spirituality is concerned. That's the reason which I am talking about 10 parts, 5 yam, 5 niyam put together. These are the 10th absolute. Not even single concept has to be compromised, and everything has to be 100%. And person that is one with universal consciousness. Without that, you can't even go to yogasana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. You can't experience anything higher unless and these 10 points are done very, very well. Now coming to this particular thing, I am not going to talk much, but I think let's leave it at that. So thank you very much.